Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Mike Vassallo from Yeah, What's the Rate? And this is another episode. I have my friend Keith Dawson from Signature Premier Properties with us today. Keith, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
How we doing? All right?
Doing good.
First podcast?
First podcast.
Never done this before.
No.
Okay.
I don't even like posting on social media too often myself. So this is first one.
It will be fun. It will be fun.
Okay.
First question I always ask everybody when they come on, because I find it interesting. No one ever wants to like wake up and say, I want to be a real estate or a mortgage professional or whatever it may be. So how did you get into being a real estate agent? How did that come about?
Okay. Well, way back in 2004, I was working for an environmental company.
Okay.
Which I actually did a lot of work there that benefits me now. I was in Nassau, Suffolk, the 5 boroughs, researching, pulling building department records, doing chain of titles back to 1940.
Okay. All right.
Judgment and lien searches. So at least if any kind of title issues, things like that, I understand.
Okay.
I get it. And a cousin of mine was living in North Carolina, had her own brokerage, and moved back up this way, and basically just said, "Hey, come get your real estate license and work with me." I didn't know what it was.
Okay.
And I just, I said, all right. I did that. I was going to go part-time, and the company I was working for pretty much folded right after that.
Really? Okay.
So I
And this was 2004?
2004.
Okay.
So I basically went in, I signed up with the brokerage full, part-time. That was the commitment. And 2 weeks later, I came in with my box that I just packed from my previous office and walked in there and said, "Hey, guess what? I'm full time."
And you're back. All right, that's cool. That's interesting. All right. Now you're one of the first people I've had on that actually has started the industry right before the crash. So what did that? So you started in 2004. Now fast forward 07, 08, shit starts hitting the fan.
Yeah.
What was that like? Like what was that experience?
So
you as an agent?
When I got into the bit, it was 2004. I was about 28. It was a good age because a lot of people I knew were buying their first homes.
Okay.
So I got out there, I hustled, I did pretty well that first full year, and it was just, this was really Zillow, I think, was just getting started. No one was buying leads yet, things like that. So it was just my sphere of influence, working hard. And then, things were going good. And then 2008, I remember being in the office watching, Bear Stearns was going out of business.
Right, you were saying,
and I'm like, I don't follow too much in the stocks and this and that, but I'm pretty sure this is not a
You knew that wasn't a good sign.
I knew it wasn't a good
sign.
thing.
Yeah. And then the rest followed.
And then I remember 2008. I had a partner at the time, but we had nine fully executed deals. Fully executed contracts fall apart.
Oh my God.
People losing jobs, things like that
Overnight. Yeah.
Yeah.
You hear these crazy
so 2008
stories.
was pretty crazy.
Now, how does that compare to, I don't want to say now, because obviously we're not having a crash, but in terms of like the shortage of inventory, the high rates and stuff, are there any similarities whatsoever that you can compare from then to now, or is it just not really, it's completely different?
I mean, in 2005 and 6 when the market was strong, and I remember there were multiple offers. Even then there were multiple offers, but it seemed like there was still more for sale. There's just there's no inventory right now.
I was going to say, it's not.
That was part of it. And then, the mortgage business was pretty wild back then where, I got one myself in 2004 and they basically said, "How much do you make?" And I signed it, and next thing you know, I had a mortgage. I didn't have to prove the income.
I guess back then also too, like you said, people were losing their jobs. The bottom was falling out. In this case, that wasn't happening. Everything was flourishing now. People have jobs. The rates are high, but people are buying. You're not really seeing people. And they're buying and they're proving their income. Right.
They're not getting bad loans.
Right. So I guess it's legitimate in terms of everyone's actually qualifying for the the loans that they're applying for. The homes are selling for outrageous prices and stuff. So that as a comparison, I mean, the bottom fell out. People lost their jobs, lost their homes.
Yeah.
You were saying driving fancy cars.
Yeah.
To then driving hoopties. So I always say, like, I'm glad I didn't get a taste of that, because I feel like then that's something that you're always looking to like kind of replicate. And I don't think it's ever going to come back that way or not. I'm not sure, but I feel like it's almost better where it's like you're always striving and reaching for that high again that you probably won't see. And if you didn't squirrel, you didn't save, I want to say a lot of those people I would imagine are not in the industry.
I mean, realtors
anymore.
a lot, the whole industry. In
Yeah, of course, across the board.
They just thought it was never going to end.
I thought that too during COVID when the rates were so low. I was like, oh my God, this is great or whatever. Yeah. And then it was just like one day, just stop.
Even back then, so ironically, the rates are pretty much where they are when I got into the business.
Yeah.
And I remember at that time, everybody was saying, you got to buy now because they're never going to be this good again. And they were 7.
Right.
Then they hit 6, and people couldn't believe it.
Yeah. I think my cousin, I did his loan. He was at about 5.5. This is when I got in, and I got in 08, 09. So when people were leaving, I was walking in. So Walter was like, hey, whatever desk you want, it's yours. You know what I mean? It was like I had pick of the litter. It was kind of funny. I'm like, all right, this one looks good. But I remember the rates were in like the 5s. And like that was a good rate at the time, whatever. Yeah. I feel like it's all relative. Like right now, like the rates in the 6s is better than it was when it was in the 7s last year. People are still buying. It's just a matter of, the timing for everybody.
Rates are a little higher than they were.
And I know we said we were not going to talk about this, but do you see what happened? Now I told you it kind of segues right into it. It's hard not to because it's what we're dealing with on a daily basis. It's hard not to talk about it because it is what we're dealing with. Every phone call is that,
The prices, the prices are shocking right now, like where they are.
It is crazy. It is nuts. So I was, we were talking obviously before coming on how we met, and we met years and years and years ago when you were at Douglas Elliman.
Yeah.
I know we have a passion for boxing. Yes. Not as much as you, or and everything like that, and we enjoy going to the fights and everything. Has your boxing background as prior to getting into real estate or even during real estate, has that had any help or that sphere
it's
of people?
It's just one of those things. I actually went. It's funny because I've been, I was open class amateur boxer, and it's a very small, tight knit community. Okay. Obviously, the fighters changed through the years, but a lot of the coaches and whatnot, I still talk to.
Right.
And this is going back a while. And one of the coaches, I had a listing appointment last week. I went there, so it's very tight knit, very loyal community. As far as any of that translating, I mean, it's just one of those things you really, discipline, and if you make a goal, you have to be disciplined to get it. Right. Whether it's boxing and real estate, mortgages, anything like that. The difference is you really forced to be disciplined, because if you don't train and whatnot, you're getting in the ring and someone's going to try and take your head off.
Right,
so,
you're going to lose. Right,
if you cut corners, it's going to come down on you.
Right.
That's all. Yeah. So you can translate that work ethic and discipline into any business.
To any business.
That's where that's where it's kind of.
And similar to, I guess, with real estate too. If you're not prepared for your listing presentation or whatever, you have another agent who comes in, who would be your opponent in the ring. Yeah. Would now take the listing over you if you were not prepared, right?
And you have to plan,
it kind of is, you definitely have similarities there.
And in even running your business, you have to have a plan. Right. You can't just wake up, see who calls, maybe you get a lead, maybe you don't. You've got to treat it like every other business. And you have to have a plan and a goal and
keep at it. And it's hard.
And be consistent.
There's great things. We were talking about it before of like being your own real boss, right? And having the flexibility and all of that stuff. But I love what you said that somebody said to you, and tell everybody in terms of
people have on more than one occasion, and I'm sure you too have commented that it must be great to be your own boss, and because I have to listen to this guy and this and that or whatever. And so I always comment that, how many bosses do you have? And they say 1. And I say, all right, well, if I have 12 listings and 6 buyers, that's a lot more bosses than
I love it.
1.
Yeah, I love it because I've never heard that before, and I've never thought of it that way, but it's the truth.
Yeah, we've got to keep all those people happy.
And when you have one boss, it's one person, one personality, one everything. Yes. Where when you have multiple people you're working with at one time, everyone is different. Yeah. So the way you hold yourself, the conversation, the tone you speak in, even the information you need to provide to that boss is different.
You have to learn each person's personality and adapt to that.
Yeah.
Or they won't want to work with you.
I love that. I never really even thought. I never thought of it that way. You know. Which kind of keeps you on your toes.
Yeah.
Always constantly keeping, changing and stuff, which is cool. So, now I wanted to also ask, I know you don't want to talk about it a lot, but I always find like with real estate, with mortgages, we do have a lot of flexibility and freedom and stuff, which gives us the opportunity to venture off into maybe some other personal endeavors, whatever it may be. And I know we have our cup here of Brewport coffee. So give us a little plug of how the coffee shop came to be. And I know you're now another location and stuff, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's right in Bellport Village, Brewport Coffee House. Come check us out. During COVID, it was just it wasn't Brewport. It was they had espresso there, but it was an Italian store.
Okay.
They had fresh pastas and sauces and things like that, olive oil. And it was just kind of a spot to go work during COVID when we couldn't go back into the real estate office and things like that.
That's where we would go. Okay.
Long story short, we were talking to the owner and, he was looking to exit and we kind of saw an opportunity and now I have a coffee shop.
Another coffee shop. That's cool. Yeah.
And 2 in different libraries as well.
That's awesome.
So it's the funny thing is you really don't want me making your cappuccino. Right. We do have people that do.
Right, they know what they're doing. Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. It's kind of cool. Like you said when you came and parked and you're in Northport, it's a kind of a very similar what did we use?
Yeah.
Like a very quaint town. Right. Yes. That was the word.
Reminds me of Bellport.
Or mom and pop and and which kind of keeps that small town charm, if you will, which is nice. And there's a couple of coffee shops on this block as well.
Yeah.
That kind of have that same thing, like low key.
Yeah.
I know some of them might have multiple locations or whatever, but it's kind of cool rather than having like say a Starbucks.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's really neat, and I don't know anybody that has that, so I thought that was something that was cool and different and stuff. Yeah. I always ask like how you get into that. Now, doing like different projects of like property flipping or investing or whatever. I think that was something cool that was.
Yeah, I tend to just fall into different things.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. I mean, I guess the more people the more opportunity.
I never really get overwhelmed with things, which is kind of helps me in real estate because if there are any kind of problems that come up, I can pretty even keeled and help manage it. And with new opportunities, even taking a risk, I'm not. I don't get. I enjoy it. I get a rush off it almost. Yeah. It's
Well, it keeps you going. It keeps you on your toes. Yeah, it keeps you on your toes. That's what I always like because I feel like when you wake up in this industry, no day is the same. So you could have a great day.
Yeah.
You could have a bad day. You could have a day that nothing happens. You could have a day where your phone doesn't ring at all. You could have a day that you're constantly on the phone. Like it's, what I said, it's peaks and valleys, this industry, depending on the day, the month, the time of year, etc. So there probably, I want to say there is no consistency. But at the end of the year, I always say like it always seems to kind of balance itself out at some point or another. But that's why I love it. I mean, that's probably one of my favorite things. I wanted to ask you something, and now I forgot. I can't think what I was going to say. Oh, social media. So I had contacted you the other day. I was like, "Oh, great job! You're getting ready for the podcast." And you had made like that video on that listing. Yeah, so I thought it came out great. I was like, so that was your first video you've ever done, or have you done other videos before?
I've done a couple in the past, but not often.
What was the reason for doing that one?
This was just to, promote a new listing. So it was it was at the listing. It was part of that. And I've never watched it. I don't like myself on camera. I might not even watch this.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen it. Yeah.
No, it came out great. So what I find is that if you would have just made that video of the house, like, and then like the camera panning through the rooms, no one would watch it. But the fact that I saw you standing in front of the house, I'm like, wait, Pete's in front of the house? I'm he's about to talk. So I was like, I raised the volume. I listened to the whole thing and stuff.
We look at the views. And
it makes a huge difference, really or even the comparison of if you just posted a picture of that, hey guys, new listing coming to market, open house this Sunday, versus you being on camera and doing it.
Yeah.
People oh, that's so cool. So I was one of the ones who watched it. I think, like I said, I messaged you before you had even seen it. You haven't seen it to this day. You should watch it. It's good. It's good. And that was part of like this podcast and stuff too. It's like, posting the pictures of your closings and transactions or open houses and stuff is great. I felt like always with the podcast, it creates like, who is Keith? Like, people see you online but like don't really get like to peel back those layers as to like who you are, on a personal level.
Yeah. So years ago, people, and this is before me, I'm not that old, but people would walk into a real estate office, they had the MLS book, apparently, things like that. And it was just, you had to, if you wanted to buy or sell a house, you walked into a real estate office and you worked with who was up next, I guess. Now people, still want to hire realtors, help them navigate the market and whatnot. So, the difference is they can work with who they want.
Right.
So they want to know that person. So that's what it is. So, as much as I don't love the videos, you have to put a little bit out there because they want to people want to hire someone that they know that they think they're going to like and see a little personality.
100%.
Not just, they don't want to just walk in and take whoever.
Yeah. Well, that's the same, Matt. I remember what you said. Again, I have no idea, but you'd walk into an office, would have a book you would flip through. Oh, I want to see this house. I want to see that house. Yeah. And then whoever was up next, I guess first in the office got the first one, second one in the office got the second one. Where now it's like, that doesn't happen. I mean, when I first started in the mortgage industry, I'd park my car in whatever town I was like farming, and I would walk from office to office, real estate office, with donuts, with this, that, the other. There were agents in the office. Now you go to most real estate offices, there's just maybe just the admin, if not just a handful of agents, maybe one or two, and that's it. So it's even as a new loan officer coming into the industry, I think the strategy is much different than it was when I started. So when I have new guys coming on and telling them what I used to do, it doesn't really apply anymore. Where it's like now you have to do stuff more like this. Yeah, it's a little bit more maybe out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, a little, because this, you offer podcasts or things like that, or it helps everybody.
And I don't really think
you're looking for people. The new ones are looking to partner up with realtors to help grow together, not just.
And there's no script or anything. It's just like, who are you? Like, what do you want people to know about yourself? And I think that gives this platform and gives that opportunity. For that. What do you have? But when you're working with your buyers and your sellers right now. Again, going back into something that we didn't want to talk about, but I do want to touch on it because I do find that the answer is different depending on who I speak to. What is I want to talk really more about sellers more than buyers, because we know buyers right now, they get qualified. There's no inventory. It's tough. What are you really finding, with your sellers? Like, are a lot of your sellers moving out of state, or are they looking to stay and remain on the island?
Most of my sellers are moving out of state.
Relocate.
And they're moving to Florida, the Carolinas. I have Georgia. I've had Texas, mostly Florida and the Carolinas.
Okay.
People that are looking to buy and stay local. Maybe if they don't have to move, if they want to sell local and stay local. As you've said in the past, they have those golden handcuffs on.
Yes. Yeah.
So they're really not. They're not really doing that. I've had I think 2 houses over the last couple of years take their house off the market. And it was the only 2 that were looking to stay local.
On the low, yeah.
You have that. You have, death, divorce, and people moving down south.
Right. There was something like the D. Like I don't remember. There was 4 Ds or the 5 D. You ever heard of that? Or real estate? It was
I have.
Death, divorce. Diapers was one.
Okay.
Diapers.
Yeah.
I can't die. I don't remember, but it was good. And I was like, And I was like, if they just live by those were like those were the main reasons why. I got to look it up after this. Yeah. I'm not getting them all, but it was something like that. It was like 4 or 5, the D's of real estate or whatever, something like that.
Yeah. And so many people are working from home right now, so they can transfer. They can sell here, buy in the Carolinas.
Yeah.
Keep their income.
Right.
And cost
and
of
have
living,
a better quality of life.
Get a big, beautiful house for
There's a lot
no
of people
taxes.
Are sitting on a ton of equity. And we've been doing more and more HELOCs, which is something that we really never did, but now we're doing more of because the rates have come down a little bit and people are looking to do that renovation on the house. Yeah. And people are not wanting to leave their 3% rate or whatever, but we are getting an influx of HELOCs for people to do those bathrooms over, do that kitchen over, add a garage or whatever it may be, where was something that we hadn't had in a while. So we've been doing a lot of them lately because, again, people want to take care of, take advantage of all that equity that's sitting in their homes. Yeah. So, it's been a crazy wild market. With the company you're with now. So I know, and I don't want to talk about specific companies, but we were at DE. We went to Coldwell. I know we started at Coldwell Banker back in the day, but when we met, you were at Douglas Elliman.
Correct.
You had then gone to Coldwell Banker, and now you're currently in Signature.
Yeah, Signature.
What is it, Miller Place? You're out of?
Yeah,
the Miller Place office.
Miller Place is where I'm out of.
Okay.
There's about 20 offices. It's, all owned by, Kathy and Pete. They're not franchises. So I actually use a lot of them.
Okay.
They're welcoming in each office.
You could jump from office to office,
so
use their
I
facilities.
can go wherever I want.
Printers and all that stuff or whatever.
Correct.
Okay. Now, do you find you go into the office a lot? Like, what is your work schedule like with the kids and family life and stuff?
I work from home. I work from... I'd say the office, a Signature office. I go to Miller Place. I use the Ronkonkoma one a lot because it's right on the LI service road, so it's an easy one to get to.
You go in, okay.
I work from my coffee shop, someone else's coffee shop.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, the car, wherever.
Yeah. I said the same thing. Like I said,
Yeah.
I'm in the office a couple of days a week, but other than that, then I'm out and about, or like I said, even
Correct.
working from home at some point.
Yeah.
And I think COVID changed all of that, which made the industry kind of do a 180 for a lot of us,
Yeah. And the busy stuff, searches, things like that, where I don't have to be on the phone. A lot of that I'll do at home. And I'll do that either early in the morning or late at night when the kids are asleep and the house is
That's when I try to
quieter.
do my social media stuff. When I'm laying on the couch, that's why I try to get like organized with it. Because if you try to do it in the middle of the day, you could waste an hour or two and get nothing accomplished. So I'm like, that's like something like a nighttime activity I try to do, and I do it in piecemeal because I'm still learning how to do it, and I'll have like Maddie help me or like because I'm not that tech savvy, but I can figure out a little bit of it.
Okay.
So I'm like, just kind of keep me in the loop. So it's like I look like I'm somewhat relevant. She wants me to get like TikTok and like Snapchat. I'm like, I'm not getting all these other things. I was like, I barely know the two things I have. I'm like, she's like, yeah, but all these people are on this, not that anymore. And I'm like, she's probably right, but it's like not something that I'm like ready to now have to do on top of what I'm already doing.
Maybe down the road, right?
Yeah. Well, I just say going back to it, it's like I just feel like, and I find like a lot of clients will like really look you up now prior to working with you. 100%. Like I could see that they do.
They do.
You know,
Reviews are super important
and
on that too.
I'm like I said, and I'm not one to complain. I do it as well. If I'm buying something on Amazon or I'm doing something or I'm buying a product or whatever, I'm reading the reviews, I'm checking it out at multiple things. Like, so why not do that with the person that you're going to go buy $1 million house with, or you're going to the bank to do the loan with? Like, it makes sense, right? I mean,
the listing I just took that with the reel that I haven't seen yet. They researched their neighborhood. They saw I had a few sales in the area in the past year. They read my reviews, Zillow and Google reviews, and
awesome, right?
And they called me.
Right. So if you didn't have any of that stuff, that listing's not yours.
No.
So I mean, it's simple. I mean, that's what I always said. Like, it's that simple thing where people like procrastinate and don't want to do it. Just by doing those few things, having past clients write a review, showing past sales, having a bio on Zillow, you just got a listing.
Yeah.
And then from that listing, who knows? Not only are you going to sell it, you may pick up other buyers or other sellers that walk in the door there, and it just snowballs just because of the fact that you had a Zillow profile and a few reviews.
Yeah.
That's what I always find like amazing of like how you're getting your clientele. I mean, at this point in your career, you've been doing it for, quite a while now. Most of your business, I'm assuming, is referral at this point.
But it's always been, but it's intentional where I'm not just hoping a friend of a friend calls me.
Right.
The bottom, you have to do a good job in the first place, which obviously you have to do, or the rest of it falls apart. And I stay in touch without hounding people for business. Right. So I try to be a resource. I have a lot of times a client will call me when they're renovating, that they need a painter, they need a guy to do the kitchen, things like that. Okay. So I make sure that they know I'm a good resource
even after the transaction is done, right?
Yeah,
which is huge.
And then I stay in touch. We've done them together.
Yeah,
client appreciation parties
and stuff.
Where, I've done free, hire photographer and photos with the Easter Bunny, with Santa, things like that. So
it's a good time, and I think it creates an identity where it's like you're not just a transaction. You're
and then
actually a person
because of that, working by so much referral, I work all over the place. It's not like if you look at my Zillow profile,
you're all over the island.
It looks like it looks like a dartboard, and people
the cliche from Montauk to Manhattan.
It's
holds
because
true.
People have they wherever they refer me, I go.
You go, yeah. I think it's also too, like you said, you really can't discriminate from no, I'm only going to work here. I'm only going to work in the specific area. Like there's not enough business,
especially
to
now,
be able to do that. Where it's like you're going to go anywhere. To go do that. I did a couple of loans this year in upstate New York, in towns I didn't even know existed.
That's great.
And again, it's like you're not going to discriminate as to where the business is. I mean, you're going to take whatever you could get.
Correct. And if it was a real niche town or something like that, if I was a little confused, I would just, if it was way out of my area, I would just co-broke it with another signature agent.
That has that area and stuff.
All.
Yeah, that's what's nice. So, I was going to say about the signature. Again, I don't know much about the real estate office, but with signature as a whole, I always found that it was just very. I don't know. I want to say I want to call it mom and pop because it's not mom and pop anymore. I feel like it was at one point, but it's just like I feel like everyone is just works together. I was like, there's not a lot of it's kind of very family oriented, which is kind of like financial equities. Like it's very small. We're mom and pop. We're small. Again, Signature is not, but it's just the relationship amongst real estate agents in the office, within other offices, the fact that you're comfortable going to another office. Other companies may not have that kind of,
it's
relationship with other offices that they feel comfortable doing stuff like that.
It is a great,
I always thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a great environment to be in. It really is.
Yeah, yeah. We always do like witches and warlocks, which I haven't participated in a few years and stuff. But Signature always does like good stuff, in downtown Northport or whatever. They're always all over the place.
They do know how to throw a great party.
Yes,
great
events. You have Montauk coming up, right? At the end of the summer?
Yeah,
is that September?
Yeah.
That's always a good time,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. I always like the weather out there. As the kids are back to school and then, go out there. It's not as crazy as it is right now.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's nuts out there. It's just so, you sit on that one road for an hour just trying to go 5 miles.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, I mean, yeah. Other than that, is there anything else I'm trying to think that we could talk about that we haven't discussed on here that is something that we could touch on?
I think we covered everything.
Did we cover everything?
I think
I always try to say there's always so much, and I know there'll be something later on that we didn't speak about, but we always look forward, and I don't know other people that watch this as well. Going back to the boxing for a while, we share the passion of boxing and stuff, but going to the Paramount for those fights.
Yeah.
There is a fight coming up in September. I have no idea who is doing it, but we have to make sure that we put it on the calendar
Definitely.
to go.
Love to go.
I feel like they used to do them so often and frequently, and now it's not. I feel like it was almost monthly at one point. No,
it was.
And now it's almost like maybe once a year, twice a year. Like they definitely don't do them nearly as much as they used to.
Not as often.
Yeah. Is there a reason behind that? Do you have any idea?
I think they need another.
Is there not enough? I was going to say, are there not enough bigger boxers on the island to promote these fights and stuff? Or
I don't know. I mean,
I know. I'm just curious. I always felt like it always was like, oh, well, if not this month, we'll get it next month. Yeah. And now it's like the last one, and now it's like 6 months later. So yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure. But those are always a good time. We have to make sure that we get that on the calendar and get a group of people. We also use that as a great that's a great networking tool. Going to the boxing matches and stuff. That's why I joined the Founders Room. I found it was a way for me to be able to kind of get in touch with other people besides other loan officers, real estate agents, attorneys. It was like a different group of people besides just.
It is. It's really nice. And then, you've gotten us in, which I appreciate. And then we bring people and then everyone connects. And it's really, nice. I mean, it's a great thing.
Yeah, it's fun. So I really appreciate you taking the time today to come on.
All right.
I told you it wasn't bad, right? It was easy. It wasn't bad. It's just there's times of wanting to make sure that we touch on certain things. I know as soon as we shut this off, we're gonna be like, damn it, we didn't speak about this or that or whatever. But I think we talked about a lot of good content here. For you guys that don't know Keith, like we said, he's out of the Signature office in Miller Place and some of the other offices out there as well. But if you're not following him on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, make sure to give him a follow. And again, thank you very much for coming on today.
All right. Thank you for having me.
You got
Appreciate
it, man. I'll talk to you.
All right. Thanks.